Alright YouTube, so for today's vlog I'll be talking about the Thunderbolts Marvel trailer, which I haven't yet to watch, but I wanted to give some thoughts before I watched the trailer, which came out for the Super Bowl yesterday, which I couldn't care less about, as I mentioned in my previous vlog, but I do certainly care a lot about movie trailers and sometimes movie TV spots, so I'm going to watch them, and I'm especially going to watch the Marvel one, because although some of the Marvel movies have been hit or miss, and personally I'm not very excited for the new Captain America movie. I mean, to be honest, I was never really super excited. I mean, I wanted to be excited, but it just looked kind of boring and just uninteresting, and I don't know, it just doesn't look super appealing. And supposedly there's behind the scenes controversy, which I also don't care about, but I don't know. If the movie's good, the movie's good, but I don't have high expectations for that movie. But for the Thunderbolts movie, I think this could be pretty good, because seeing the behind the scenes photos I've seen here and there, they look kind of interesting. It sort of, I think, has a new-ish cast, or at least some characters we haven't seen too much of make a bigger debut, or at least that's the impression I get, and at least that's the way it is for me. But I haven't been keeping up with Marvel a ton, at least not as much as I used to, so maybe it's unfair for me to say that, but let's just watch the trailer and I'll let you guys know my opinion. So I'll say that I actually really like this trailer. I wrote some notes. There were some things I wasn't incredibly fond of, and I'll go into all this here. I don't expect you guys to read this, but I'll read it and give you guys my writer's opinion on this trailer. And yes, I have been writing more again. Like I mentioned in one of my vlogs, I wanted to do more notes, do more writing, which I'm a huge fan of, so definitely thumbs up for that. So the trailer starts out with a view of the city, and I thought that was a good shot. Then it goes into sort of a courtroom setting, and something I wrote in my notes is that I really hope this courtroom setting is a lot better than the one in Joker 2, although that wouldn't really take much. Sorry, Joker 2, that was a terrible movie. But yeah, that's not really a big accomplishment if it is better than Joker 2, but if it is, like, you know, anywhere near that bad in terms of the courtroom, then this movie is going to be terrible, but I doubt it'll come to that anyway, so no need to catastrophize that thought. Something I will say, however, is that the city looks absolutely doomed in some of the shots. The buildings falling down, the villains coming, although I didn't really capture or take note of any of these Easter egg villains, or couldn't really get an idea who the big villain was, but I can definitely tell whoever the big villain or the villains are, that definitely they're destroying the city. And I couldn't really tell which city it was, but I don't really mind that, because I'm not really picky about that, because I don't care what city it is, as long as it's, you know, fun superhero movie. That's what matters most. And I think this movie will be a lot of fun, because it has like an unlikely team of heroes, or heroes they're calling them, because some of them don't see themselves as superheroes, see themselves as villains or rejects, which I think has definitely been done before, but I don't remember the last time this was done in a Marvel movie. This looks a little bit unconventional, at least compared to the other Marvel movies I've seen in the past, which I think is actually good, because I think if this movie is really successful, that it'll start a great new wave and sort of have a great impact on Marvel, because it has all these unconventional, uninteresting heroes, which, like, you know, was very true for Guardians of the Galaxy, like, you know, a raccoon and a talking tree. Who would care about characters like that? But they managed to make characters no one even knew existed super interesting and fun, so I think they could do that again. I doubt it'll be as good as the first Guardians of the Galaxy, or the third one for that matter, as I did like the second one as well, but I'll talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy in another vlog. I will say there was definitely humor in this trailer, which I don't mind, but some of the funny lines were a little bit corny, but no big deal, just like, you know, kind of was like meh about that. And the costumes were cool. I also like the real world tie-in of like a lot of the realistic settings, even though it's a Marvel movie, and just sort of the realistic idea of like sort of the government trying to, like, you know, take over superheroes, and sort of tying that in there in a more subtle way, which I definitely liked. So overall, I really liked this trailer. Didn't love every single thing about it. I thought some of the jokes were corny, and I think, like, you know, it's kind of a risk they're taking with these unconventional characters and not big names, but I think if done right, this movie could be great. And I will say I was definitely a fan of the trailer. I'd give it maybe between an 8 and a 9 out of 10, so Jones Beach approves of it, and thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more soon. Goodbye.
So who is he?
He's Jones Beach.